all look so nice. So I'm going to be telling you a bit about, I need everybody to pay attention. I'm going to be telling you a bit about African American storytelling, about the tradition of African American storytelling. And I'm going to be giving you some ideas, things that you can do to help with your storytelling.
You do special things like something else.
I'm going to do some special things, yes. And so I want you to pay careful attention, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So first, what I want to tell you is that there's some African American traditions that we follow whenever we start a program. So the first thing we do is we ask for the oldest person in the room. We ask them to offer a blessing on the program and to give their permission for us to start. That's the way the African American, well, the African cultures and the Native American cultures, that's the way that they begin meetings, is by asking the most oldest, the most elder person in the room if they would offer a blessing and give us permission to start. Because if the elder says it's not time to start and we can't start, then we can't start. Okay, so who would be the most elder person in the room, other than myself? Who would be the one that's looking around like they don't know what we're talking about? If you could just bless our program, just say that you bless our program and that you give us permission to proceed.
Okay, everybody. My name is Brother Paul, and I guess I'm the oldest person in the room.
Besides me.
And I'm giving the permission for the storytelling to begin. But before I do that, let's bow our heads and pray. Father God, in your name, Jesus, we bless each and every child that's in this room, God. Let them be attentive. Let their listening ears open, God. Let them learn something of this culture, God. For Christ's sake, amen.
Amen. Amen. So what did you just learn? Before we start a meeting, we ask who to bless it? The oldest person to give us what? Permission, okay? Because we have a lot of respect for the older people and for the wisdom that they have, okay? All right, so let's just give a hand clap to Brother Paul. So I'm going to permission this morning. Okay, so now I have a few things that I want to just get prepared with. You know, when you tell stories, you want to make sure you have everything that you need. So one of the things about the African American culture is that a lot of the history got passed down from generation to generation to generation, because that's how the different cultures over in Africa, they had what you call griots, or griots. How many of you have ever heard of the storytellers called griots? Anybody ever heard that before? What's the term I just said? Griots. Can you say that?
Griots.
Okay, they were the what?
Griots.
They were the storytellers. And they would memorize stories that were passed down from one generation to another generation to another generation to another generation. And families, they would take the people who were brought over from Africa. They weren't like many immigrants who came here, who wanted to come here. They were captured and they were forced to come here. And they were captured and the conditions were not very good at all. And when they got here, they had to do the best they could to survive, and they had to keep their stories alive, and they would tell the stories to one another because, for one, they weren't allowed to read and they weren't allowed to write. Because if they could learn how to read or write, they could learn how to fight and get their freedom, and people didn't want them to be free because they needed them to work for free, okay? So they weren't allowed to read like we're allowed to read. So like we're allowed to read today. So that's why we need to really embrace reading and be very glad that everybody is allowed to read. Now, one of the things that would happen is the African people who came over, who were forced to come over, they didn't have much, and so they would have to make clothes sometimes for the rich people, and they would take the little scraps, and they would put the little scraps together, sew them together, and make a quilt. And the quilt would look something like this. My sister gave me this quilt. It would look something like this, but it was more colorful. It had a lot of different pieces. And the children, what they would do, oh, let me put my storytelling socks on. Aren't these pretty?
Yeah.
I'm going to put some storytelling socks on because the children, they would come and they would sit at the feet of the elders. They would sit at. So would anyone like to come and sit at my feet by my pretty red socks? They would come. No? Don't everybody jump at once.
Royal, you can go up there with
You don't have to, but if you decide you want to. I thought the red socks, would take some of the fear out of the experience, but I guess it's not, okay? But anyway, so if anybody wants to come and sit closer, Cindy, don't force it. How about if I hide my feet? I'm hiding my feet. Now you can come in. Well, anyway, the children would sit at the feet of the elders, okay? They would sit at the feet and they would look up and they would listen to the elders tell the story, okay? And sometimes the elders, sometimes they couldn't see very good, so sometimes they had on little glasses. Sometimes they would sneak and read by candlelight. They would have to sneak and read because they weren't allowed to read. Did you know that during the enslavement times, just a few hundred years ago, not even 300 years ago, any time before 1865, if you were caught reading, that could cost you your life. Okay, so sometimes they would sneak by candlelight and read and try to teach each other stories, okay? Okay, so I think I have all my props out. So now I'm going to tell you the first story. So how did we make the quilts? How do we make the quilts out of what? Scraps, okay? We would take the scraps and sew them together and make beautiful quilts. And some people still have those quilts even to this day. Okay, and then another thing that we would use, something happened, oh, here we go. They would use the talking stick. The talking stick. Anybody ever heard of a talking stick? Anybody? Okay, this is what's a talking stick?
A talking stick means they can talk and again they imagine.
Okay, you can talk. Okay, so absolutely, when you're holding the talking stick, this is in African cultures and in Native American cultures. Whoever's holding the talking stick, they have the permission to talk. So like people would sit in a circle and they would try to make decisions and they would pass the stick. So as long as you were holding the stick, you could talk. But if you didn't have the stick, it wasn't your turn to talk. Who do you think had the power to decide who could hold the stick? Who?
The most oldest person.
The most oldest person. Absolutely. The most oldest person. What's your name?
Jeff.
Jeff? Okay. So make sure you tell me your name when you answer a question. That's right. The most oldest person, because the oldest people were considered to have the most wisdom because they lived the longest and they had the most life experience. So they would hold the stick and then they would decide who could hold the stick. Now, if someone passed you the stick and you didn't feel that you could speak with dignity and respect, then you had a responsibility to pass the stick to someone else. So holding the stick and being the one to speak gave you a lot of responsibility. You had to speak with what? Dignity and what else? Respect. Okay? If you couldn't speak with dignity and respect, then you would have to pass the stick to somebody else. Okay? So I'm going to hold my stick today while I tell you the story. Okay, as I told you, there was an oral tradition in African culture, so there was a lot of storytelling going on, okay? And so I'm going to tell you a few stories, not necessarily from African tradition, but I'm going to tell you a couple stories from my childhood and just a couple of my favorite stories. Is that okay?
Yeah.
And then I'm going to read a few books for you, okay? Okay, one of the stories I remember from when I was a child is I was in first or maybe second grade, and we had a lesson at school about how chickens hatch. Does anybody know how chickens hatch?
They lay their eggs.
All right, Lauren, thank you. Yes? Say your name first. Jonathan. And how do chickens hatch? Right, they get bigger in the egg, and then they make the egg crack and they come out. But what makes them get bigger inside the egg? Do you know? Okay, all right. Anybody know what makes them get bigger in the egg? Royal, what makes them get bigger in the egg?
They get bigger when they see it, and then when they get bigger, their mom, they can fly.
Yes, when they get bigger and they come out of the egg, eventually they learn how to fly. But it's the chicken, the heat of the chicken sitting on the egg, that heat, that's what the teacher told us. The heat from the egg is what allowed the chicken to continue to grow. That's why sometimes they put eggs into an incubator. Can you say incubator? Incubator. Sometimes they put eggs into an incubator where it's nice and hot and warm, and then the chickens will start hatching in the warmth of the incubator. But the egg, the part the teacher didn't tell me, because they didn't like to talk about these things, they didn't tell me that the egg has to already be fertilized. That means that the egg has to already have a growing chicken inside of it. I didn't know that. All they said was that heat makes the eggs, makes the chicken grow inside the eggs, and that it's the heat, and that's why the mommy chicken sits on the egg for a long time so that the heat from the mother's body makes the eggs hatch. So my best friend, one of my best friends named Linda, who lived right next door to me, we got the bright idea that we were going to make some eggs hatch. Okay? We were going to grow some chickens. We were going to make some eggs hatch. Anybody have any idea what we did? Roy.
They can't, because all the cats get things, but they grow.
Okay, all right. I see this hand up right here. Your name?
And you guys put,
What's your name? Edna?
you guys get the eggs and then
What?
What did we, wait, what's his name?
Michael.
Oh, Michael. Okay, Michael. What did we do, you think?
I think you guys get an egg and warm it.
Yes, you're absolutely right, Michael. We got some eggs and we warmed the eggs. How do you think we warmed the eggs?
Sat on them? Oh, I was guessing. I'm sorry. I didn't think you actually did. I'm sorry.
Okay. How do you think we warmed the eggs? Tell me your name again.
Jeff.
Jeff, yes.
We put it in in
Incubator?
Yeah.
That's a good guess, but we didn't have an incubator. Okay? All right. So you know what we did? We took the eggs and we wrapped them up. It was a warm, 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 hot day. We found our old winter coats and we took the eggs and we wrapped them and wrapped them and wrapped them inside of our winter coats. And then we sat them on the porch, and then we sat on top of the bundles of winter coats. And we sat there all day long. So we're sitting there, just sitting in the hot sun, and our friends are passing by. Hey, come and play. Come on and play. We're playing tag. We're doing this. We're doing that. No, sorry, we can't. Why? Because we're hatching eggs. And we have to sit here all day so our eggs will hatch. All day. It was hot. There was sweat dripping from our brow. And we sat there for hours and hours waiting for the little chickadees to come out from under the coats. But they never came. At the end of the day, after we sat there all day, what do you think we found? No, not any chickens. Anyone else can guess?
Chicks?
Not any chicks, because these weren't fertilized eggs. These were like eggs you buy at the grocery store. Jeff.
Broken eggs.
Broken eggs. It was a mess. It was a big, nasty mess. Okay? Eggs all over winter coats. Okay? But we learned a lesson that you can't hatch eggs from the grocery store by wrapping them up in coats and sitting on them all day. Okay? All right? Okay, so don't you try that. All right? Okay, another story that was very popular when I was growing up. In fact, instead of doing a story, first let's do a song, okay? This is a song that I've taught to both of my children. And one is way grown and the other is almost grown, okay? It's called Don't Stick Your Finger Up Your Nose. How many of you have ever heard of this song before? Okay, you've heard of it? Anyone else? You've heard of it? Okay, you've heard of it? Have you ever heard of it, PJ?
I've heard of it.
You've heard of it? Alana, you heard of it? No? Okay. Well, it's called Don't Stick Your Finger Up Your Nose. And it goes like this. A fellow named Barry Lewis Polizar, he sings this song. And that's where I learned it years and years and years ago, okay? When my oldest was just a little boy. All right, it goes like this. First, start doing this. Okay, now you got to keep this rhythm. Okay. Not too fast. You're going fast. Stay with me. Okay, and it goes like this. Don't stick your finger up your nose. Don't stick your finger up your nose. You can sniffle, you can sneeze, but I'm asking you to please. Don't stick your finger up your nose. Okay, now there's more to it. We start out like this. Don't stick your finger up your nose. But then you go like this. Don't stick your finger up your nose. You can sniffle. You can sneeze. Achoo! But I'm asking you to please. Don't stick your finger up your nose. Okay, can you do that? You ready? Okay, let's start. Don't stick your finger up your nose. Okay, now point. Don't stick your finger up your nose. You can sniffle. You can sneeze. Achoo! But I'm asking you to please. Don't stick your finger up your nose. Okay, I'm just checking our time. Cause Miss LaShawn, what time do we break for snack?
11:45.
11:45. Okay, so we have a few more minutes. Okay. So let me tell you, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you a scary story. I mean, this is a really, really, really scary story. All right. So if you're a scary kind of person, if you get scared easily, you might wanna maybe leave the room, because this is a really, really, really scary story. I mean, like a really, it's a bloody, scary story. It's a bloody, scary story. You know what? I'm missing something out of I'm missing something out of my prop bag. There's something out of my
Run.
Okay. Ready? There's something that I need. Now, has anybody ever heard the story called The Bloody Finger?
Yeah.
Who else has heard The Bloody Finger? Are you sure you can you heard the story? Okay. All right. Don't tell the answer. You heard it? Okay, I told you. Tell the answer, okay? If you heard it before, don't tell it, okay? It's very important that you don't tell it. The name of this story is called The Bloody Finger. Can you say it with me? The Bloody Finger. Once upon a time, there was a lady. She was moving into a new house. And she was taking boxes down into the basement. And she was going up and down the stairs with the boxes. And then suddenly, she heard a noise in the basement. And it sounded like this. Said, I want. She said, oh, who's there? Who's there? I want. So she took off running up the stairs just as fast as she could, and she slammed the basement door and she locked it, and her heart was beating. Ba-boom, 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 ba-boom. How was her heart beating? It was beating. It was beating. And she could hear in the background the echo coming from the basement. I want. I want. I want. I want. Oh, she was so afraid. What was her heart doing? Ba-boom, 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 ba-boom. So she got on the telephone and she called her best friend. Can you come over? Please come over as fast as you can. There's something in the basement. And it's saying, I want. I want. I want. I don't know. So her friend said, okay, I'll be right over. So she jumped into her car. She started up the car. She's driving. How is she driving? She's turning. Show me turning the corner. She's turning the corner just as fast as she can. And she gets there. She pulls up. How does she pull up? And she pulls up, and her friend jumps out of the car, and she runs across the street, and she runs into the house, and she says, what's wrong? What's wrong? And her friend says, there's something in the basement. Yeah. And it's saying, she says, oh, there's nothing down there. We'll check it out. Come on, I'll show you. Let's get these boxes downstairs. Everything's going to be all right. So they begin to take the boxes down the stairs. Her friend the one who lived there was very scared, but the other one wasn't scared. But they both pitched in and they both were moving the boxes up and down the stairs, up and down the stairs. And then suddenly there was a noise. I want. And then from out of the corner came a big, fat, squirty, bloody finger. And the best friend went, ah! It's a bloody finger! And the other friend said, I told you! And they were both standing there, and they were frozen with fear. And the finger kept saying, I want. Can you do this? I want. And the best friend said, what do you want? Just tell us, what do you want? And the finger said, what? What the finger said? I want a Band-Aid. Did you like the story of the what? The bloody finger. Okay, now let's see if we have time for me to read one book. Yeah, the light switch is down. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank my sister, my beautiful sister, Miss Cynthia, for handling the lights for us. Okay, isn't that nice of her that she's handling the lights for us? Okay, let me see. Okay, I have so many choices of books here. Let me see. Well, okay, this book, some of you have heard of this book so many times. This is a book that I think is important. But I don't know if everybody, I don't know what religions everybody has in this room. And I respect everybody's religion because we all have different religions. And we're all in different places as far as what we think about God. Okay? But in the African American tradition, there's been a very strong belief in God. And that belief in God is what helped people to hold on and to be strong. Even when people were trying to kill us and trying to abuse us and take advantage of us, we held on because we came over from Africa already with a very strong faith in God. Okay? And so there were religions that people already had over in Africa, and then when we came over into the United States, we were introduced to other religions, and our religions got changed up and mixed up in very good ways, oftentimes, in very good and interesting ways. And we all have different faiths and different religions. But, you know, there's different ways to look at this. Some people think that their one faith is the only right faith. And then other people believe that their faith is the right faith. But hopefully God is big enough for those who believe in God. Hopefully God is big enough for all of the different religions. Okay? But whatever our faith is, we should respect other people's religion. Okay? We should respect, even if we don't believe their religion, we should respect their religion. But because of what God has meant to African people, even to Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, who was a servant of God, a servant of Jesus. Okay? because of that faith, people have held on and have overcome horrible, horrible obstacles. So, in honor of that, I'm going to read a story called Designed by God, So I Must Be Special. And I'm going to have you do some things for me. Unless, if for any reason, if this would be offensive to you or your family, you might want to maybe move to the side or just don't participate if you don't want to, okay? Because I'm not trying to force anyone to, embrace something that might not be natural for them, okay? Okay, so it's called Designed by God, So I Must Be Special. Now, I need my little spectacles here, okay? And it goes like this. And this is a story that I read to my own children as well. Has anyone ever heard this story or read this story before? Okay, so a couple of people. Okay, it said, dedicated to all God's handcrafted gifts to life, his children. All God's children, not just some, all. That's what the book says. It says, now what I want you to do is, when I say a body part, I want you to point to that body part. Okay, so it says, God gave me my eyes, okay? God gave me my eyes so that I could see all the beautiful things around you and me. Little turtles and goldfish and little bugs galore. And when my very best friend comes knocking at my door, can you knock at the door? Okay. There are butterflies of every color, bunnies, frogs, and puppies too. Rainbows, kittens, and candy apples, just to name a few. Okay. He gave me my ears so that I could hear. Let's do that again. He gave me my ears so that I could hear all the many sounds, both far and near. Can you say both far and near? Okay, these are things that are going to help you in our storytelling lesson after lunch. Okay, say far and near. Okay? Like the robin in her nest who sings night and day. Say who sings. Sings night and day. Why say who sings night and day? Say who sings night and day. Who sings night and day. Are you picking up a few ideas about storytelling? You should be picking up a few things, okay? And when my parents says I love you in their very special way, there's that sweet lullaby they sing to me each night as they gently tuck me in bed and turn out the light. He gave me my nose so that I could smell. Now let's see, what can we do with this? He gave me my nose so that I could smell. Let's try it again. He gave me my nose so that I could smell. See how you're bringing your story to life? Do you see that? Okay, don't just... He gave me my nose so I could smell all the grandma's goodies and other things as well. No, he gave me my nose so that I can smell. So I can smell grandma's goodies. Okay, and all those things I love so well. Okay, let me see you use your hands. Use your eyes. Let me see you use your eyes. Look around. Okay, these are things you're going to need when you practice your storytelling this afternoon, okay? Okay, so he gave me my nose so that I could smell. Oh, yes. All of Grandma's goodies and other things as well. Are you looking around? Those goodies and those other things, okay? Like sugar-coated rainbow chunks and marshmallow delight, or caramel candy popcorn, which is yummy to my bite. Yummy. Excuse me. It was really good in my imagination. Okay. And the smell of fresh baked pizza. I gotta put my glasses on. And the smell of fresh baked pizza. Can you smell it? Cookies, brownies, and candies too. I'm getting hungry. What about the smell of red roses he created for me and you? Are you getting the idea? We need to really use our bodies. He gave me my skin so that I can feel. Yes, I see you doing it already without me even touching. He gave me my skin so that I can feel. Very good. All those great sensations that are warm and real. I need a little bit of water. Can someone ask Miss Dee Dee if I can have a little touch of water? Okay. So one of the adults are going to go. Okay. So he gave me my skin so I could feel all those great sensations that are warm and real. Like when my parent hugs me and tickles my back. Let me see, someone's tickling your back. Okay? And tickles my back. Or when my little dog jumps into my lap. What happens when a dog jumps into your lap? Can you imagine a dog jumping into your lap? Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, the dog jumped into your lap. There's that soak in the tub after a cold, rainy day, and that squeeze from my parents after they've been away. That squeeze. Can you do this? Squeeze. Yeah. And it says here, feels good. That feels good. He gave me my body so I could be free. Say, he gave me my body so I could be free. Yes. Ooh, one more time, you did that so well. He gave me my body so I could be free. Very good. To experience this world around you and me. To experience the world around you and me. Let's see you do that. To experience this world around you and me. Like jumping rope. Can you pretend you're jumping rope? Like jumping rope and running and climbing big trees and playing freeze tag and maybe looking for bees. Can you look for bees? Look for bees. Let me see you looking for bees. Okay? Also fishing and swimming. Can you swim? Let me see you swim. You're scared, but you're safe here. So let's see you swim. Okay? Also fishing and swimming, just to name a few, and chasing my friends, both old and new. Okay? Here's a good one. He gave me my mind. Let me see. He gave me my mind so that I could dream of lollipop castles. Let me see. He gave me my mind so that I could dream of lollipop castles and moats of ice cream. I can think and plan and invent with my mind. What a wonderful tool I was so lucky to find. I can imagine and dream, oh, what a great thrill. I can go where I want by the act of my will. That mind is something else. Okay? He gave me my heart. Ba-boom, 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 so that I could feel the many tender feelings that he made so real. Wait, we need some tender feelings. The many tender. I want to see some tender feelings. Can I see a tender feeling? Who can do the best tender feeling? So he gave me my heart, ba-boom, ba-boom, so I could feel the many tender feelings that he made so real, like the hurt in my heart when a tiny bird falls from its nest, and I pick him up gently and tenderly give him my best. Or that super good feeling when my aunt hugs me real tight, then looks me in the eye and smiles with delight. These are all the things we can feel with our heart. Wow. And he gave me my spirit, or whatever, however you want it, and he gave me my spirit so that I could know that he's always beside me every place that I go. To love me, to protect me, to show me the way, to be there in hard times as well as each day. He designed me with special talents and gifts and abilities to see, which let me know that he has something special in mind for me. Okay? And it says, God made me special. And that's the end. Let's do that last page again. I want to see what you can do with it. He gave me my spirit. Now, but you act it out how you want to. He gave me my spirit so that I could know that he's always beside me every place that I go, to love me, to protect me, to show me the way, to be there in hard times as well as each day. He designed me with special talents, gifts, and abilities, you see, which let me know that he has something special in mind for me. God made me special. Can you see how that faith in God helped the African American people to survive when everything could have made them just want to give up? We didn't give up. We kept pushing because we had faith. Okay? So, have you learned a few things about how to tell a story?
Yeah.
All right, I think you're going to have snacks now, and then after snacks, you're going to practice your storytelling skills, okay? Give yourselves a hand.
Say hi to her.
Ow, my leg, my leg, my leg.
Now, approaches, and then you are going to practice your storytelling with each other, and maybe even before the whole audience. Okay? That sounds okay? You ready?
Why did it flip?
Ready? Yes. Very good. So some of the things that we talked about is we talked about your facial expressions, using your body, your hands, using your body and your spirit. Very good. What's your name? Austin. Using your spirit to help tell the story. That was perfect, Austin. So you want to help bring people into the story through your body. Your body is a tool, but also your voice is a tool. And you want to make sure that you're speaking loud enough so that you can be heard when you're telling your story. You also can use props. Remember we talked about props, like you can use a stick. A stick can be so many things. Okay, it can be a javelin, it could be an arrow, it could be it could be a spear, it could be so many different things. It could be a ship, it could be a boat, you know, it could be so many things. We can use our imagination, or like we used the candle. We used it, you remember earlier, we used the candle in order to create a certain environment. Okay, candle, what you can do with your props, you might want to use a little bell.
I want a bell.
Huh?
I want a
You
bell.
might use a little bell. There's different, you might want to use the spectacles. Okay. want to use even your body, the fingers. Remember?
The bloody fingers?
Remember we used, what
The
did we
bloody
use?
fingers?
Yes, that's the bloody finger. Remember, where's my little Band-Aid? Remember we used a little Band-Aid, okay? So we have our voice that can help tell the story. We have our bodies that can help tell the story. Even a little finger can help tell the story. We have props that can help tell the story. We have expressions that can help tell the story, right? Can you think of anything else? Am I forgetting anything? Hmm? Yes, what else?
There's a rainbow out.
Okay, there's a rainbow. Okay, very nice. Thank you. Okay, can you show us how there's a rainbow? Come and show us. Come show us the rainbow.
A rainbow is far off. It's right there.
Can you show us with your body? Show us with your body. How is there a rainbow?
It's far away.
Okay, the rainbow, he said, is far away. There's a, you all show me. There's a rainbow. Okay? There's a rainbow. Thank you so much. Okay? All right? Okay, so, all right, so would someone like to practice telling a story? Maybe you have your own story, or maybe you would like to tell one of the stories that we already told. Somebody have a story that they want to share? Hey, Jalen, come on up.
Excuse me, is this so much fruit? Sorry.
That's my beautiful sister, and look at how hard she's working. Let's say thank you, Miss Cynthia. And where's Miss LaShawn? She's been working so hard. Okay, well, when she comes back in, we're gonna say thank you, Miss LaShawn. And we wanna just show our appreciation to everyone who made this program possible. Okay, so Jalen, did you say you were coming up to tell a story? Or you change your mind, you wanna wait? Who would like to practice first with a friend? To practice with a partner?
Me?
Okay. Pick a partner. Everybody grab a partner or two, and you can practice telling your stories to each other, okay? Practice telling your stories. Okay? Does anybody need a book? Anybody want to practice with a book? Here goes some books.
Here, bring it over, Royal.
I don't want your tablet. Hey guys, want to read this one? Hey, this one is new. I actually know. What's that? Was it scary
To practice with. You two want to practice together? Be careful with that, okay? Who else needs a book?
There's no like it. Yeah.
Okay, who else needs
No
a
one. Royal, you don't need to hold them. Give one back.
Okay.
I could be the smartest person on earth. Somebody feels famous for talking.
What they say. My mind, my heart, my passion.
And I believe I want to be the
Look at this one.
for 1 minute. So who would like to come and tell the story?
You have a story?
Okay, and you get to.
How did that happen?
Let's come on up. Tell us your name again. Go. Okay.
This is a story about all the kids are broken.
Keep going.
I don't get it. It's because
Give everybody a chance. Listen to their story.
Their mom, and then they said, "Can I go outside, please?" And then this is not a funny story, is it?
But you're such a good storyteller that you're making everyone smile and laugh and you're happy. You're very good.
I don't want them to laugh.
Okay, don't laugh, okay? Now
Don't
hold your
laugh.
stick and finish your story, guys.
They was living in Maryland. Mom said, "Can I go play outside?" No, because it's too windy out. And then Mom said, "Okay, you can go outside."
Okay, boy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Doyle. All right. Okay, everyone. Who's next? Who's next? Go ahead, Jalen. You get 1 minute. Okay, everyone, listen. It has to be touching the ground, okay? All right, so you ready to start? Okay. Okay. Now, everyone, listen attentively. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Once upon a time, there's a little girl with her sisters that lived in a mansion. And her sister was really scared of the dark, and her big sister was home. And every time her little sister would hear something under their beds that would say, "Get off," and get off. And the little sister got really scared.
All right. Very good. Under a minute. So we know somebody was real scared in that story. Okay? Thank you.
Excuse me. Can you guys speak up a little bit when you tell your stories so that it's a recording so that it can hear you, okay?
Okay.
Okay?
Go to the bathroom.
Okay. Open your mouth. Okay. Okay. Who would like to go next? Okay, go ahead. Come on. Now, Jesus is going to go next. Hold the stick. Keep it on the ground. Keep it touching the ground. You ready? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Go.
Once upon a time, there was a 17-year-old daughter. She lived by herself in a haunted house, and she was walking downstairs, and then she heard some noises. And she went down there. She heard some noises like, "I want to eat you," and then she was like, and then she was like, "Oh, what is this?" And then she got scared, really scared, so she ran, and then she shut the door, and then she called her friends, Bo and Zoe, and then they came, and then 3 of them went downstairs, and they were like, "Who is this?" And they were like, and there was like scrubbing.
Okay.
Here.
Now, Grandma's goodies. Okay, and all those things I love so well.
Listen, all right? I will fight you for